Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Com, and today I will be going over Unit 1.1, which is Instructions, Rules of Reading in Hmong. And this is part of a course that we're doing over at hmongclass.com. And in this unit, we'll be talking about some basic rules or overview principles on how to read in Hmong. So, in this unit, I'll be going over a series of about 9 rules that apply to how to read in Hmong. And the first rule that we're going to go over is that the building blocks of a Hmong word are these 3 things. 1, vowels, or do shua, and the vowels function as the main sound of a Hmong word. The second building block of a Hmong word is a consonant, or a ndopi, and it functions as a beginning sound that can be added to the front of a vowel, aka the main sound of a Hmong word. The third building block of a Hmong word is called the vowel pitch modifier, in Hmong, do ji shua. And the function of the vowel pitch modifier is to change the pitch of the vowel, or the main sound of a Hmong word. So these are the 3 key building blocks of a Hmong word, and these are what you'll need to understand and know in order to form a Hmong word and thus be able to read a Hmong word. There are more details that will be coming in regards to these 3 building blocks, but at the very basic form, these are the building blocks that we're going to look at today. And as we enter and get deeper into the course, we will find, or I'll present more and more information in detail about each of these type of building blocks to help you understand them and memorize them and know how to use them to read in Hmong. But for now, let's just keep those 3 building blocks in mind and use it in this overview image here. The main thing that I want you to take away with this image, it's a very complex image, and it can be overwhelming. So I don't want you to become too overwhelmed or too discouraged because there's a lot going on here. But I wanted to show you that the 3 components or building blocks of a Hmong word are the ndopi, or consonants, here in green, the shua, or the vowels, in blue, and the ndoki shua, or the vowel pitch modifiers, here in red. These are the main building blocks of a Hmong word, and later we'll go over how we use these 3 components to form a Hmong word and a 1-syllable Hmong word. You can have multi-syllable Hmong words here, but the main thing is to understand that the 3 building blocks of a Hmong word are the consonants, the vowels, and the vowel pitch modifier. Rule number 2. No more than 1 building block is used per Hmong word, except in multi-syllable words. One thing to keep in mind is that most Hmong words are just 1 syllable. So in English, let's say you have a word like sophisticated, 5 syllables. In Hmong, we don't have that. It's rare to have something beyond 2 syllables. Most of the Hmong words are 1 syllables. And even if they are 2 syllables, you're essentially joining 2 Hmong words into a 2-syllable Hmong word. Okay, so just keep in mind that no more than 1 building block is used per Hmong word. So if we look at this diagram again, What I mean is that you will not have a word where you have a consonant, and then a vowel. You only will use just one of each if you're using more than just the vowel. You see, you'll never have an instance where you have a consonant, a vowel, and then a consonant, or a consonant plus a consonant, and then also a vowel. Okay, so rule number 2, no more than one building block is used per Hmong word. Rule number 3, a little detail about the vowel or the shuo is that it is the most important building block of a Hmong word and is always present. Vowels can be 1 or 2 letters long. It is the main sound of any Hmong word, which is why we call it shuo, which means a letter that produces sounds. The main sound produced by a vowel can be changed in these 3 ways. 1, by adding a beginning sound to it. 2, by changing the pitch of the main sound or the vowel. 3, by doing both of the above at the same time. Okay. And the example that we will use for our unit here is the vowel O, English O, pronounced as aw, as in the word aw, which means swollen in Hmong. A beginning sound can be added to the main sound of the vowel, the shuo. This beginning sound is known as the consonant, or the bi. Consonants can be 1, 2, 3, or 4 letters long. And in a Hmong word, the consonant is always placed in front of the vowel. Think of it as a beginning sound to the main sound of the vowel, hence the name bi, which means beginning letter. Okay? So in our example of aw, English O, which means swollen, if we add the consonant ba or p to the aw, we get the word ba, which means spleen. So here we're changing, we're adding an additional sound to the vowel sound of O to get a new word meaning ba or spleen. Okay? And one thing I wanted to emphasize is that the consonants have 1 to 4 letters. The shuo, or the vowels, have 1 to 2 letters. And then the shuo, the vowel pitch modifier, only has 1 letters. The rule number 5, the pitch of the vowel, aka main sound, can also be modified to a different pitch. Okay? The way to designate this modification of the vowel to a different pitch is called a vowel pitch modifier. In Hmong, it's shuo. Vowel pitch modifiers are always 1 letter long, which I had just showed you on that diagram earlier. shuo means letter that determines pitch of the sound. In a Hmong word, the letters designating a vowel pitch modifier is always placed after the vowel, or to the right of the vowel. So in our example of the English O, pronounced aw in Hmong, if we add the pitch modifier, the vowel pitch modifier of B to the right side of it, we change aw into aw. Okay, the B designates us to change the pitch aw to a higher pitch, aw. Okay, and so now aw means 2. The best way to think of vowels is that the vowel itself, all the vowels that we have in this diagram here, all of these vowels are at a certain pitch. A, E, O, U. Okay, all those are at a certain pitch, and when you add these modifiers to it, you designate the vowel to be changed to a different pitch. So let's say if I was to add this modifier, a vowel pitch modifier of B to the A, E, I, O, U, W vowels, A becomes A becomes A, E becomes E, O becomes O, U becomes U becomes U. Okay, so that is the main principle behind it. And I think the best way to understand the vowel and the vowel pitch modifier is to think of the vowel pitch modifiers are at a certain scale. You know, in English, in music, we have musical notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Okay. In Hmong, we have the Hmong scale, the Hmong pitch scale. Okay. They're not in the same musical note scale. They're in a different pitch, and in later units, we'll go over where those pitches are. But those letters or those vowel pitch modifiers tell us where to put our vowel, what pitch to bring it to, what musical notes to bring it to, you know. Because in English, because it's not a pitch dependent or tone dependent language, a word is still a word even if the pitch or tone changes. Okay, so as an example, the word dog. Okay, let's put it in the musical scale. Dog, 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 dog. Okay, we know that even though the pitch of that word changes, the word is still dog, just at a different musical note, right? But in Hmong, it changes. Let's use our word "o," which is the English O, or the Hmong O vowel. So "o," all right? O, 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 O. Each of those words, every time you change the pitch, you potentially change the meaning of the word, okay? And I will show you guys, once we get to that unit, where it changes in the scale here, okay? But just trust me that by changing the pitch of the vowel, you can potentially change the meaning of the word. That's the main principle for you to understand right now, okay? And that each of these pitch does matter, and that the Hmong language has different pitch that the vowels can be placed at, okay? Rule number 6, the possible combinations of the building blocks of a Hmong word are always in the order of consonant, vowel, and then the vowel pitch modifier. So it's always consonant, vowel, vowel pitch modifier, okay? Consonants and vowel pitch modifiers are not always used in every Hmong word. So that means that the only possible combinations for a Hmong word are as follows. 1, if you have a vowel all by itself. So for instance, the vowel O, which means swollen. O means swollen. A second case of forming a word is consonant plus a vowel. So ba and o makes the word ba, which means spleen. The third way of forming a Hmong word, the third possible combination of building blocks to form a Hmong word is vowel plus a vowel pitch modifier. So you can have a vowel and then add a vowel pitch modifier to it and potentially form a Hmong word. Please take note that sometimes these combinations of vowel and consonant and vowel pitch modifier does not form a Hmong word. So again, option number 3 is vowel plus a vowel pitch modifier, as in our example, all plus vowel pitch modifier. B is all, which means 2. The fourth way of using these building blocks to form a Hmong word is to use them all together. So consonant plus a vowel pitch modifier. So in this case we have ba, which is the P, all, which is the vowel O, and then the vowel pitch modifier B makes the word ba. Okay. One thing to note, and I know this is a little detailed, and we'll go over this in the consonant portion of our course, is that consonants are pronounced naturally with the O vowel sound attached to it. So P is pronounced ball. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I know that's a little bit of information for you right now, but just keep that in mind, and we'll go over that more as we get into the consonant portion of this course. Rule number 7, each consonant, vowel, or vowel pitch modifier can have one and only one specific sound. No other letter can make that specific sound. In other words, no one specific Hmong sound can have 2 ways of spelling it. Another way of saying this is that for any particular sound in Hmong, there is only one way of spelling it. So what that means is that if you memorize the sounds of consonants, vowels, and vowel pitch modifiers, all the sounds of those, and you know how they affect one another, you will essentially be able to sound things out and be able to read in Hmong. So an example of this is the English words for there. There's actually 3 ways to spell there. T-H-E-R-E, T-H-E-I-R, and then T-H-E-Y''R-E. Okay? 3 different words. They sound the same, but they're spelled differently. This does not happen in Hmong. Okay? In Hmong, the Hmong words are spelled, even if they mean different things, even if they're 2 different words, they are spelled the same because they are based on how they sound. So P-O-B, ba, is a word for ball, or it can also mean pimple, but they're both spelled the same way. So in English, for the sound of there can be 3 possible ways of spelling it. In Hmong, again, there's not, that isn't an issue for the Hmong word. There's only one way to spell one specific sound, okay? So another example would be the word C, and I-C, like an icy from 7-Eleven. They sound the same, but they're spelled differently for some reason. That's, the complexities of English, and it also is a blessing if you're trying to learn Hmong. You just need to know how to spell that particular sound, and then you should be able to spell the Hmong word, okay? So again, in Hmong, this is never the case. For a particular sound, there is only one way to spell that particular sound, even if there are different meanings, or if the words are different, as in the word ball and ball for ball and pimple. Rule number 8, the letters for vowels is never used for consonants or vowel pitch modifier. remember that in a Hmong word, the vowel is the most important part of the Hmong word. It's the central part, and then you have a consonant that's added to the left side, or you can have a vowel pitch modifier added to the right side of the vowel. So just know that the letters that we use to designate vowels are never used in the consonants or the vowel pitch modifiers. So let's look at this example. These letters here for the vowels do not show up in the vowel pitch modifiers here or the consonants here. Okay, so there will never be an instance where you will be confused on not knowing if there's where the consonant begins and where the vowel begins. Okay, you can look at a Hmong word and be easily be able to find the vowel and then find the consonant and the vowel pitch modifier and be able to sound the Hmong word out. Any letters to the front of the vowel are the consonant, and any letters to the right of the vowel are the vowel pitch modifier. Rule number 9, the pronunciation of a Hmong word is therefore the sum of the sounds of the consonant, vowel, and vowel pitch modifier. Okay, so remember that formula I gave you earlier? You have the vowel, the consonant to the left, and then the vowel pitch modifier to the right. Those are the building blocks of a Hmong word. So in order to read in Hmong, all you need to do is to memorize all the sounds of the consonants, all the sounds of the vowels, and know how the vowel pitch modifier changes the original pitch of the vowel. Then combine these sounds, as we will discuss later, to make the Hmong word, or be able to read the Hmong word. Okay? So these are the main principles of what you need in order to read in Hmong. Okay? This sounds easy, but I think the difficulty is us in understanding these rules and memorizing these rules, and also, which will be 70% of what we'll do later, is the memorization part, the pronunciation and memorization of the consonant, vowels, and the vowel pitch modifier. There's a lot of them, so there's a lot to memorize. But the good thing is that it involves just memorization. So the best way that I find to use for memorization studies is to use flashcards. Okay, so our goal here is to use flashcard. It could be paper form or digital form. There's all sorts of cool apps nowadays that we can use to learn how to memorize these building blocks. Okay, we are using Quizlet as our main flashcard app. It has images, text, and sounds, so that when you click the app, you'll flip the flashcard and you'll be able to hear the actual pronunciation. For me, when I was learning how to read in Hmong, that was the hardest part. You can memorize the consonant, right? The actual letters, or you can memorize the vowels, A, E, I, O, U, W, plus all the double letter ones. But there was always the question of not being sure if you were pronouncing it right. Okay, so now with technology and these apps, you have the capabilities of having a recorded sound of the vowel, so you can instantly check to make sure you're pronouncing things right. Okay, and remember that pitch is so important in the Hmong language. You want to make sure that you're pronouncing things right from the start and not mispronouncing it, because what will happen is you will later find that, especially if you're mispronouncing the words, you may end up sounding kind of robotic in your pronunciation when you're speaking with the Hmong speaker. and they could technically understand you if you're putting the words in sequence, like gulube hu or calm. You sound robotic, your pitch is off. Technically, I can understand that because I know the language, but you're not saying the words correctly. Okay, and if these words were not put in a sentence, then they would be all wrong. I wouldn't be able to distinguish what you're trying to say. Okay, so I think that these digital flashcards will really help you learn the correct pronunciation of each of these components. Okay, so that is the goal for this class, is to kind of guide you through this process. Okay, guide you through the process of memorizing all the consonants, all the vowels, and all the vowel pitch modifier, and I'll show you in detail how to use this diagram here to form words, and we'll practice with this diagram as we go along this course. Help you start to sound out words and build your confidence in how you pronounce and be able to read things. And then ultimately we will start reading some literature in the later parts of the course. I think that the Hmong Bible is, some of the most accurately translated Hmong literature, so we will use that. And there's the least amount of errors in the writing and typos, and so we're going to use that as our main reading source, other than what I will be typing some of the basic sentences for you. Some other things you can do next week, we will be talking about more about this diagram. You can also access these information at the website hmongclass.com, and from there you can gain access to the digital flashcards that I was talking about on Quizlet with images, text, and audio to help you pronounce things correctly. And also on the website hmongclass.com, there will be access to worksheets and quizzes. There are 5 worksheets for this unit here, and this is just to quiz you, test you, to make sure that you're understanding some of the principles here. And as we get more and more into the bulk memorization part of the class, some of these worksheets will be used to help you distinguish vowels from consonant and then vowels from vowel pitch modifiers. So I think these worksheets will help you out a lot if you stay on top of these. Okay, so again, my name is Kham with hmongclass.com, and I am happy that you're joining me on this journey, and I hope that you have a good learning experience with me here. So I will see you again in the next video, and we will continue with 1.2 diagram of rules of reading in Hmong. Bye-bye.